Hello, everyone. I wanted to wish you a happy Yule. Tis the season from, around December 20th to 30th when we celebrate the darkest days to the solstice on the 21st and then the return of the sun, which is coming around now. This is the days where we tend to celebrate the biggest celebrations in many, many cultures. Yule being one of the first ones from way, way back. And that is the one I celebrate. It is the most matriarchal of all the celebrations because it relates back to what we can see with our own eyes and ears and what we live with every day, the cycle of Mother Earth and our great cosmic mother. So I wanted to wish you guys all a happy Yule and hope that it's a great one and tell you a little bit about this celebration and what it means and ways that you can practice it, in the next few days or whenever you feel at your heart that you need to go within more and get quiet more and start to listen to the hums of hibernation and what it is telling you to do in order for the rebirth coming of spring. And that is the nature of this time of year in the northern hemisphere. In the southern, of course, it's reversed. But in the northern hemisphere, we're at the darkest days, and we've just started to see the light return in the last few days from the winter solstice on the 21st. And this is a day of, quiet and reflection. And I think of it as sort of the days of, gestation and returning to the womb of us and the womb of life itself. As we reflect on, the shadows of us that still need to be healed and transformed, and the light part of us that we celebrate and that we use to transform the dark parts. In Mother Nature, this is the time she hibernates. This is the time when the animals retreat into their dens more, and some are even hibernating through the winter. And, Mother Nature kind of gets cold and gets slow and starts to conserve its heat inside the earth as the winds howl, the cold winds howl on the outside, and the sun only comes out in a minimal amount of time, and then the rest is in the darkness. Well, there's a real spiritual component to this, and that's what people celebrate at this time of year, and that's the return to that feeling of being embraced, being encased, being wrapped into ourselves and into the womb of who we are at our core and what we want for ourselves in life, and who Mother Nature is at this time of life, and what does she represent, and how does she make you feel at this time of life. And that's what the celebration is about. And there's a reason why people will, gather with other people, because it can be a bit lonely. And so that's our instinctual nature calling us to connect with others, to survive, whether it's with huddling with others in the cold for body heat, to emotionally connecting with others to keep us from feeling starved and lonely, to the big, big feasts, celebrating the harvest that we pulled in the fall, to stave off hunger, that the cold can bring, because it's harder to find food and sustenance at this time of year. So celebration is really about, hey, we survived another season. We survived another cycle, and now we're going to celebrate it. And we're also going to take the time to honor ourselves and what we want to be through the coming years. What do we see for ourselves? And that is the practice of Yule. And just as a woman who is pregnant, and so the fetus, the baby inside of the womb, is sitting in the dark and is receiving all the nutrients and all the messages of life from the mother and from the world around her in the womb, therefore building itself developing itself in order to seek birth. Mother Nature does that in winter, grabs everything that it can in order to sprout new seeds and new buds in the spring. And this is a time where we can honor that in the stillness. There's no rush of everyday life. Things are supposed to slow down at this time of year. So that's how you can practice Yule. You can slow things down, and you can go within and honor yourself. The biggest question I ask myself is, what do I see for myself in the new year? And what kind of germination do I want to put into my own womb, my own soul, so that when the light returns again, I can use it to replant myself into a more authentic and whole being. Maybe there is no need for that for you. Everything's going great, and then you'll just continue the cycles as need be. Being a woman healing from trauma, there's a lot of suppressed self energy that I had to do in order to survive abuse. And this is a time of year I like to stir things up a little and bring it up and allow it to guide me into the future. There's also a few things you can do to celebrate the Yule in Mother Nature. It comes back, a lot from the pagan traditions. And so the rebirth of the sun. So as the days start getting longer again, we celebrate the return of the sun, which the Christians then sort of remade into rebirth of the sun, S-O-N. And that's why they said that Jesus Christ was born tomorrow. The Lord comes onto earth again. And isn't it interesting that it kind of, they took it from S-U-N to S-O-N, which is interesting. The original version is the S-U-N, the return of the sun. If you go to various churches around the world, you'll hear a lot of the, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. And that is actually speaking to the original maiden, mother, and crone. So here we have, which way am I pointing here. We have the maiden, so she is the young season of life. The mother, the harvest, the growing, the fruition of life. And then the crone, which is, the lessons learned, lessons taught, and vision gained, and the decay, and then towards hibernation. So in this time of year, we're celebrating the crone and all the wisdom of the year that we have received and gained and will take on into the new year. And as you can see, there's a little witch's brew here. And I like to think of that as the cup of knowledge that we hold. And she's also, there's an animal, the owl, which if you're into energy, spirits, and guides, the owl is the all-seeing, the all-knowing, and she holds it. She is the accumulation of wisdom and life, which will then turn around as the cycles keep replaying and become the next generation of maiden when she returns in the spring. And the flowers come out again, and the birds sing and fly. And so that's where the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost comes from. The difference of the two being that the Mother, Maiden, and Crone is circular, and it kind of spins with the life itself, whereas the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost is like hierarchical, right? So Son, Father, Holy Ghost. So there's a difference in perception there. Some of the practices that you can do this time of year, the 4 elements are, you can celebrate the 4 elements. Fire being a big one. Fire bringing us heat and bringing us the source of cooking our food. And spiritually, fire is very cleansing as well as nourishing, as long as it's used in balance. So, and also because this time of the year there's so much darkness, that the use of candles was big, very, very big, in order to bring in light. So you can bring in candles and light them up and do what your heart speaks that it wants to do with the candles, whether it's eat dinner by candlelight, or dance around the candles, or sing, or maybe take out your journal. One of my favorite practices is a very somatic practice. I will write down all the things sitting in the darkness of me that still needs to heal, that I don't want to connect with anymore, that I'm ready to move past on, and maybe feel stuck, or maybe it's ready to be let go. So I'll write it down, and then I'll put it in a tin, I'll light it up, and then the symbolization of, all that energy I don't want to relate with, I will put on fire and set free, and then watch the smoke fly away into the air, away from me, as it flows into the consciousness of life itself. So that's one of the things you can do. Or you can just burn scented candles because they smell good. I mean, really, whatever works for you. So you'll see on my little stance here, I've got the candles here ready to be lit when I need to. So that's the element of fire. The element of earth. Earth is sort of in hibernation right now. Well, she's not really in I guess she is kind of in hibernation right now, but she's still there. So you can celebrate it by, indoor plants, bringing the Yule tree in from the outside, chopping down a tree, or modern day versions, the plastic trees and decorating it. That's a way to celebrate the earth-based energy. And that's what a lot of people did with the practice and celebration of Yule. You can burn an actual Yule log, which is kind of cool. Brings in the element of both earth and fire. And the element of air, I just like opening up a window and feeling the crispness of the air flowing in and out of the house, and allowing my breath to just match the air, or my breath to do what it wants to do as the air flows into my lungs and back out, and feeling the exchange of old life for new life. So you can do some breath work to celebrate the element of air. The element of water. Water this time of year is kind of frozen. Again, also kind of slowing down and losing heat. So a lot of Yule celebrations will bring, the hot drinks back out. To restore the inner fire and the inner warmth that we lose with the cold water. This time of year is great for soups and stews, which have a lot of water in them. So you can make those foods for yourself and enjoy that warmth that, goes right to the belly, right to the meat and bones of you. And that's a great way to celebrate water. Or you could, go ice skating, go play on the frozen water, and sit and reflect how important water, fresh water, the need for massive amounts of fresh water in the growing season is needed in order to sustain life on Earth itself. And appreciating that when the snow falls here, that will turn into that water in the springtime. So honoring the snow, going to play in the snow, is a great way to return to the sensoriness of the elements of the earth, while also appreciating the season that we're in. The idea of matriarchal celebration is keeping it grounded, keeping it real. So using your eyes, nose, ears, mouth, and taste and touch to really honor what has been given to you from Mother Earth this past year, and returning it the next year. How do you plan to return it to her? That would be also another great celebration that you can do. Write little notes for yourself, or keep it in a little keepsake jar, or however you'd like to. You can do an exchange of, here's how you fed me this year, Mother Earth, and here's how I plan to refeed you in the growing season, once hibernation is over. Another practice you can do, one I like, is if you go, you can make them your own if you're a crafty person, or you can go to Michael's or a craft store, and they'll have these like little things, ornaments you can hang on the tree, or you can make something yourself to put in a keepsake jar or a box, and that's to write down on whatever craft you choose, all the things that you want to hold on to. So the stuff that we wrote down to burn in the fire is all the things we want to let go of. And then all the stuff that you want to hold on to, you can write on a little, I bought these little heart-shaped papers that come with string, and you can hang them on the tree. And you just write down all the things that you want to hang on to, and all the things that were great this year, and made you really feel as close and grounded to you, your own body and your own soul, and Mother Earth. Those really core memories. And you just hang them up on the tree, and that way you can always look at them, and they're there for next year as a reminder. Or, you can put them somewhere else around the house or in a keepsake box. Or so there should be a balance. If you're going to honor the darkness, honor the light as well. And that's the whole point of matriarchal celebrations, is we honor the balance of life to maintain homeostasis. And that's what you can do this Yule. And there is no really proper time to celebrate Yule. It occurs anytime between solstice, pre-solstice to the new year. It doesn't matter. Anytime that just feels right for you, you can do that. I don't celebrate Christmas, but so in place of that, I celebrate Yule. So you could do that if you wanted to, or at any other time. It's really your call. And the other thing that I like to do this time of year, because it tends to get a bit more quiet, is I like to read a lot. So I created my little sort of matriarchal book. This is the project that I did for myself. I did that painting, and which was a stencil, and then I added to it, and then all the colors in the background, that was all me. And I did a little collecting of these pine cones, and then the books of the Matriarchy that I love to refer back to. So I'll pick one up again. The wolf is my spirit animal, so I added that. And on the other side, I've got like a tree here made with, I believe it's red jasper crystal, which is a very grounding, earth-based crystal. And then behind, I've got another painting and stuff like that. So you could create your own little altar of meaningful stuff, and that could be a yearly tradition. And then every year you either create a new one, or you add to it, or you change something, based on what you're feeling this year. Yeah, you can change different paintings, whatever it is that calls to you. So that's something that you could practice at this time of year. And enjoy a hot cup of tea or something as you do it. You never know. So that is a little bit about the Yule, and a few ways you can celebrate it. I hope everybody has a good one this year. And as the sun returns, which I am so thankful for, the dark days can get to you. It'll be really nice to be able to spend more time outside. I'm looking forward to the colder days are coming, but the sun is returning. That's really nice. So as the sun is returning in the world, I wish you your inner sun to return within you and bring you many, many blessings and joy for the next season, the next cycle as the world turns. Happy Yule, everyone.